Hello, and welcome to Mondays in the Mesh. I am your host, AJ. This is where I will be reading my entries on Substack. Bear with me, this is a first attempt. My production quality will go up very quickly, I'm sure, but I just wanted to get my butt in the driver's seat and give it a shot. So let me know what you think. Grab a coffee because this one is a bit of a doozy. Let's get into it. Is it Tuesday blues or have I finally lost it? An entry from April 17th, 2018 during a post-Coachella come down. I feel like shit in every way. I asked for it though. I ate crappy all weekend, did drugs, and drank too much. I'm not sure why I'm pretending I shouldn't feel like this, like I'm filled to the brim with bad energy. I'm nauseous. I want to journal about everything that's been on my mind, but I'm tired just thinking about it. I need to get it out though. The thoughts I was having this weekend were so gross and draining. Because of this, I just finally reached out to my psychiatrist for a therapy referral. So about this weekend. To put it plainly, jealousy got the best of me in many moments. As I write about it, I'm a little calmed by acknowledging that with every moment that passes, I'm further removed from the worst of it. Still, what I feel sickest about is how constant these nagging, ugly thoughts were. How persistent and overwhelming they felt. I want to point to the drugs, and I think I can, to be honest, but it doesn't replace the fact that I felt such nastiness rear its head so relentlessly throughout the weekend. I was able to acknowledge that it wasn't real and true and good. I was able to pull myself away from fully devolving into self-loathing, but it continued to pop up, and I continued to try and swallow it. All 3 days were full of very high highs and rather nauseating lows. Of course, I've only been able to focus on the negatives, the parts where I embarrassed myself or thought ugly things. I want to cry, really. I want to curl up into a ball and not exist for a little while. I know it's the drugs. It has to be. I'm trying to recall if I felt these things before I took stuff on Friday, and the fact that I'm struggling so much to remember whether I did tells me that I didn't. That's comforting, I suppose. It's comforting to know that it's a brain imbalance that's causing such strong waves of ickiness to flow through me all willy-nilly. Doesn't make it easier to swallow, though. I mean, I guess it softens the edges a bit, but it doesn't make it palatable, that's for sure. I suppose I just need to be more patient with myself, as I told the others to be when they were navigating their own anxieties. Man, I'm even having trouble being direct with myself about what was getting to me so much. I kept wanting to talk about it all weekend, but I didn't want to voice it to anyone because I didn't want to make it real. I guess I still don't. I think it's because I so badly don't want to feel it. And I know that talking about it will give it even more energy than it deserves. I know that it's stupid and ridiculous and undeserving of any real discussion. Like, I really, truly know it. I just don't understand why I couldn't shake it off. Like, was it really just because of the drugs? Was it really just that nagging, serotonin-depletion-induced anxiety? I don't even want to flirt with the idea that it was something real, because my heart knows it wasn't. Maybe I'm still just subconsciously stuck on the idea that my relationship can't just be secure. Maybe this weekend was a larger dose of reality because we were outside of our just the two of us bubble. Maybe it was a test and I failed. Maybe I'm just more fucked up from the drugs than I want to admit. And I'm calling the therapist referral number now. End entry. Wow, I did not expect myself to get emotional. This is from freaking 8 years ago? Jeez. Can I do math? 7 years ago? And I got choked up the third time reading it. I guess what I want to say about this one, or what's interesting about this entry to me now, so many years later, other than still getting emotional about it, the situation that I'm talking about is one that is so far in my past now, and it's like it still haunts me. And I've been to festivals since then where I've had to really like uh, battle with this whack-a-mole game. I've always hated whack-a-mole. It stresses me out. I'm bad at it. And that's what my brain does to me constantly. It's like, just whether it's a looping image of something that I don't want to be looking at, or it's a endless rabbit hole of what ifs, or imagined scenarios that make this anxiety, that fuel this anxiety, this fear, the jealousy that I was talking about. It's like I just am, I'm at the will of my own brain. My hyperphantasia. Man, like, I'm on my period, but damn, I'm already a few days in. Anyway, I got a therapist. She actually didn't help. I finally got a therapist. I finally talked to my boyfriend, who's now my husband. I finally talked to my boyfriend about it, and it got worse. This anxiety got worse before it got better. And after we got back from Coachella, I was like having a hard time eating. I just was, yeah, it was not good. And I finally talked to my boyfriend about it, and I mean, he was just so like, he was great. He was very understanding, but the main thing was he just was like, why didn't you say something sooner so that we could have talked about this sooner? Like, why did you let this fester in your mind for so long? And then that became my regret. That became what I ruminated on, what I fixated on, was that, damn it, I wish I could go back and relive the weekend without this jealousy on my back, this green monster on my back, if you will. I went from feeling really anxious to really sad. And then for years after that, I had anxiety whenever I listened to electronic music. And this is where my therapist didn't come in handy, is I tried to talk to her about it, and she straight up was like, I'm not sure how to help you with that. Not how I would therapize, but I'm not a therapist. So the two things I feel like finally got me through this, like, sort of soul clenching, identity snuffing jealousy, were time and humor. I think time, I mentioned in this writing. As I write about it, I'm a little calmed by acknowledging that with every moment that passes, I'm further removed from the worst of it. And so it's kind of like the time heals sentiment, except it's not that time heals, it's that time provides space and opportunity for the situation at hand to change shape, I guess, to evolve. And for your feelings to evolve around it, and so letting time not heal, but create the space and the opportunity for us as a couple to continue building trust and learning each other and understanding each other, to the extent that these fears don't have anything to feed off of. In this case, my partner and I continued to have conversations over time when it would come up for me. And, then the second being humor. Fast forward to, another time in life where we were at another festival, and I'm having all these feelings come up, and I didn't want to make the same mistake of saying nothing and letting it fester, because my brain is so creative. And so I just started making jokes. Like, I'm just gonna say it out loud in a playful way and see how it lands. And so ultimately, I don't know if it's like exposure therapy, or if it's like desensitization, or if those are the same thing and I'm just trying to sound smart. But ultimately, when those fears bubbled up from then on to now, I make a joke about it. And also, I'm queer, so like a huge part of a lot of this was me recognizing that I am attracted to women, and I was kind of projecting that onto my partner. And I was like, well, if I'm attracted to her, then he's attracted to her. And well, I didn't even know I was just like, oh, she's cool and pretty and funny and interesting, so my boyfriend probably thinks she's cool and funny and pretty and interesting. And really, it just had to stop at, I think she's cool and funny and really interesting. And even if my partner also thinks that this person is cool and funny and interesting, he's with me for a reason, and I'm with him for a reason, and yada, yada, yada. So ultimately, when those fears come up, I kind of have to belittle them by poking fun at them a little bit, by saying them out loud in a playful way. Yeah, if we don't laugh, we cry. That's the moral of the story. And I guess I did both in this entry. But ultimately, when it comes to the jealousy stuff, laughter, I think, is the best medicine. Just pointing it out exactly as it is, not in an accusatory way, not like you cannot believe this shit. You cannot believe this shit. Not saying that jealousy isn't valid in many, many scenarios, but when you have this special little genre of relationship OCD, where the anxieties that we have that we're afraid of coming to light, or becoming true, are rooted in an internal narrative, and they're fear-based, they're not love-based. So what all of this shaming myself and regretting my behavior and all of these things are not going to make it better, not going to fuel growth, not going to strengthen my relationship, and ultimately it's not going to improve our dynamic or my confidence. It'll eat away at it. So it took a lot of time to get to the other side of this feeling, but I am proud to say that I finally am. And I know now how to cope with jealousy in a way that I never did before. So I'm grateful that I had the experience. All right, I could go on forever about this, but I will stop there. Thank you so much for watching, listening, reading, etc. Let me know if you have any thoughts, questions, concerns. If this relates to you, someone you know, maybe send it to them. And I will see you on Wednesday with a new written piece, and on Monday for our next Mondays in the Mesh, where I will be reading that piece. All right, so have a great week, y'all. Thank you, and AJ out.